You were tuned in to episode 83. Yes, I said it. Episode 83 of the Goodfellas podcast. I am your host, G5 Jeff TV, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. As you can see, I'm solo right now, but I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Big shout out to VP Shane. Big shout out to Boxing First Vlog. Um, Hopefully they'll be able to jump in here at some point during the show. But I had to jump on here and talk some boxing. You know what I'm saying? We got to talk Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte. We got to get into the X's and O's of this fight. I know a lot of people be talking about, you know, the the TMZ type stuff and all of that, but we got to get back to the essence of actually talking about what's going on in fight. You know what I'm saying? Boxing strategies. What can Tyson Fury do to win the fight? What can Dillian Whyte do to win the fight? That's what we're gonna get into today. And before we get started, routine here. Whenever I'm dolo, whenever I'm solo dolo on the show, I need for anybody to put a one in the comment section. Let me know y'all can hear me okay, and then we can go ahead and get started. But I just want to run a couple shout outs. Big shout out to my guy Tree James. He just sent me a message saying that he's ranked number 6 in the world at 175 pounds, which is, that's huge, huge news. Rob Acosta in the building. Big shout out to my guy Rob Acosta. What's going on, bro? We got, I think, a good 3 weeks left before the boogeyman is back in the ring. Jerron Boots Ennis. He'll be back in the ring against Castillo Clayton. And Rob, the one thing I can tell you, bro, is I'm glad y'all didn't entertain the Blair Cobbs thing. Like I it was fun while it lasted, but I'm glad nobody really gave him the attention from y'all side. Of course we was egging it along because that's what we supposed to do. But we looking forward to seeing Boots back in the ring. Hopefully Castillo Clayton can give some type of resistance in there. But Rob, we definitely gotta we just had Spence and Ugas. Spence looked good. Like he looked typical Spence in there, but you face a guy like Spence, you gotta work angles. You can't just walk up to his front door and think you're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we just looking forward to Boots back in the ring. And it's crazy because guys like Boots, like we only get to see them maybe like twice a year, something like that. And it's like we need to see them like all the time. It's like, of course, you can go down to the gym, watch them, but not everyone is privy to those types of perks, especially if you're not in Philly. But we definitely gonna get into Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte. It's a huge, huge fight, huge heavyweight fight. And I feel like this is an opportunity for Dillian Whyte that's been long overdue. We talking a couple of years. He's been going back and forth with the WBC. He's been in court with them, things like that. WBC decided that he was only going to get 20% of the pie. So he only got about $8 million out of like 40 or $42 million. And people didn't understand why he wasn't promoting the fight. And I'm like, I wouldn't promote the fight either. You know what I'm saying? You only giving me 20% of the pie. And on top of that, I'm not gonna get no back end money neither. Like, hell no, I'm not gonna help you promote the fight so you can make more money. Like, hell no. Like, I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I understood where Dillian Whyte was coming from, but he popped up at the press conference, and Dillian Whyte got one of the biggest entourages I ever seen in my life for like a non-rapper. Like you usually see rappers be like 100 deep, 150 deep, and you used to seeing it from rappers, but from Dillian Whyte, like he had at least like 50 people with him, all of them black, wearing black. He got on the black biker gloves and all that. Like Dillian Whyte different, man. Like he moved like a drug lord. Like it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But it was crazy watching the press conference because I'm I'm thinking it was gonna be a bunch of animosity and it was just gonna be like intense, but it was more mutual respect towards each other, and it really looked like the only person that was really intense was Tyson Fury dad. He was the only one that was really like trying to create that smoke, but it was like a real like relaxed environment, just everybody ready to get down to business. I mean, as far as Tyson Fury is concerned, if I'm getting 32 million out of a $42 million pot, I'd be relaxed too. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gonna make more in one night than we gonna make in a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? So I would be I'd be in a joyous mood too. You know what I'm saying? But big shout out to everybody that's watching right now, man. Really appreciate it. I want to give a big shout out to my guy Tristan Tree James out of Iowa, man. I just found out he's ranked number 6 in the world at 175 pounds, man. Like that's a major, major accomplishment. And this is for someone that was in Philly less than a year ago and took a loss and it just turned his whole career around. So big shout out to my guy Tree James. Big shout out to Coach Pepe Pena as well. Big shout out to my guy Rob Acosta, man, one of the best strength and conditioning coaches in the business. He's known for the work he's done with Jerron Boots Ennis, but he's doing a lot of work with a lot of other people that he should be getting the shine for. One of the best in the business, man. Rob Acosta, big shout out to him, man. Definitely go follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and if you're a young fighter and you're trying to get, you're trying to get right, especially if you're in the Philly, Jersey, New York area, that's the man to go see. Like you go see Rob Acosta, or if you got that bag, go pay Rob Acosta that bag, and he'll come to you. Make sure that you're right. My guy L Dub, the plug in the building, man. What's going on with you? Uh, one of my favorites to listen to. One of my favorites to actually get knowledge from, man. L Dub, the plug, boxing. You know what I'm saying? One of the best doing it. The Block Mike Cop. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to L Dub. Rob Acosta, thanks, bro. Appreciate you. Hey, man, listen, we gotta support each other at the end of the day. But Rob Acosta is legit one of the best strength and conditioning coaches out there, and it's like you don't get a chance to really rap to a lot of different people that's on the inside, man. Like Rob, great boxing mind. Another guy, big shout out to Coach Padman McGriff out of Vegas. That's my dog right there. You know what I'm saying? Just a wealth of knowledge. And there's a whole backstory behind these boxers and behind boxing and these pay-per-views and these fight cards and things like that. So it's guys like Rob Acosta, guys like Padman McGriff that really set the foundation. You got guys like Mustafa Boxing, um, mad scientist from out of Philly. There's a lot of guys that is really setting the table for these fighters to go in front of these cameras and actually perform. So you got to salute the guys that's actually laying down that solid foundation for these fighters, man. So that's why on here I'm always shout out the guys behind the scenes that don't get the limelight they supposed to get at the end of the day. So we gonna get into this Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte fight from a technical standpoint. Now, um, we got at this on the last show, and I was asking like, what percentage chance do you give Dillian Whyte to win the fight? And a lot of people were saying 60-40. A lot of people were saying 60-40, and I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm like 60-40. Like that's like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I was thinking more like 65-35. If Tyson Fury is like on his game, I would say 70-30. Tyson Fury is a problem. Like physically, he's like 6'8", 6'9", around anywhere between, depending on the fight, between 270 and 285. Fleet of foot. I mean, he can do it all. Great upper body movement, defensively, real good IQ. I mean, Tyson Fury, he has maybe one or two holes in his game, but there's a reason why he's undefeated. There's a reason why he's undefeated, man. He's one of the best. He's one of the best doing it. And I know my man Vlog, he say all the time that's Mr. Shenanigans and things like that, but I don't think he'll have it any other way. You know what I mean? I don't think he'll have it any other way. You know what I mean? But he's a tough cover, man. So it's not the fact that I have like a negative thought on Dillian Whyte. I feel like Dillian Whyte deserved a title shot 3 years ago. You know what I mean? Guys like Dominic Brazil and all them getting title shots. I mean, of course, Dillian Whyte deserved a title shot, but when you go to war with, one of these sanctioning bodies, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. And hold on, big shout out to Victor Ortiz. He said, I think 60-30 unless Tyson gets hurt early. I don't know if the extra 10% is the unknown. It's crazy you said that, Victor Ortiz, because I was on the line with Shane, VP Shane earlier, and he told me 55-35 and the 10% is the unknown. So I don't know if you're thinking the same thing, but 60 and 30 is 90. So what's your other 10%? Yeah, Tyson Fury, let me get this out of the way. This is Tyson Fury's fight to lose. Like, Dillian Whyte is going to need help. He's going to need help from Tyson Fury to win this fight. If Tyson Fury goes in, makes this fight boring in a boxing match, he got an 80-90% chance of winning this fight. If he goes in and makes it into a brawl, he makes it into an all-out war, he walking through the front door trying to kick the couch over and all that against Dillian Whyte, that's not the right dude to do that with. Dillian Whyte is one of the more gifted offensive fighters in the heavyweight division in terms of his punch variety, punch output, the angles in which he throws his shots. Good body puncher, good jab when he want to throw it. Dillian Whyte is gifted offensively, so Tyson Fury can't go in there and just be reckless. Victor Ortiz said unknown KO. I guess the 10% is the unknown KO. Okay, I can respect that. So he basically got a 60-30 and then 10% for the unknown KO. And Victor, the thing about that, bro, is I feel like Dillian Whyte is gonna have to win by knockout. Like, he's going to get Fury up out of there. Because nothing in this fight tells me he can win a decision. And it's not because he can't earn it. It's just the fact that it's a WBC fight, and you done had the WBC in court. I just don't trust the WBC. I don't trust the WBC. I don't trust judges. I don't trust none of that. Dillian Whyte is going to have to pull out all the stops, and he's going to have to get Tyson Fury up out of there or in major trouble in several rounds to where they can't rob him on the cards. Like, this can't be a 4-4 fight going into round 9 and he think he gonna pull out a decision, or 5-5 going into the 11th and think he gonna pull out a decision. Like, if it's anything close, Fury's getting a decision. He's getting a decision. Like, he's the house fighter with the house promoter, and the WBC can't stand Dillian Whyte. I ain't got to be a rocket scientist to really break this shit down to you. You know what I mean? I ain't got to be no rocket scientist. Matter of fact, I'm in a good mood today. I'm putting the link in the comments. Y'all want to jump in, man? Get on in here. We talk some Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Dillian Whyte he's definitely behind the 8 ball in this fight. But from a strategy standpoint, I feel like this is what Dillian Whyte needs to do to win this fight. All right? This is what he needs to do to win this fight. Number one, he has to be active early. He has to be active early. And what I think he needs to do, and it's kind of similar to what Shane said. He kind of stole my thunder in the last show, but you got to act like he don't have no head, no neck. Everything from the chest down. Everything from the chest down. Jabs to the chest. Body shots. Chest, arms, elbows, whatever you can hit. Just make sure you are putting in your some type of work with Tyson Fury. You're gonna hit him with the body shots. Like you're gonna hit him with the body shots. Just don't telegraph him like Deontay Wilder did in the third fight. Don't do that because like like I love Deontay Wilder, but Deontay Wilder was like you could tell they was like yo like go to the body, go to the body, go to the body, and he was just telegraphing it. He was looking down there and then he just started throwing it. It took Tyson Fury less than a minute before he started check hooking him up top and just got him completely out of his game. So you got to factor in Tyson Fury's IQ. So for Dillian Whyte, first 3-4 rounds, try to work the body as much as you can and get those jabs to the chest in. Make sure you touching them, constantly touching them. You know what I mean? That's dude on the IG video say you got to pat him down. You on the inside, patting down. You know what I'm saying? With those body shots, first 3-4 rounds, and what he should start doing after that is still throw that jab to the chest, but he need to start throwing straight shots over the top, and then sneaking in some looping shots over the top. You got to keep Tyson Fury active defensively, and it can't just be all up top because Tyson Fury does a lot of this. You do a lot of that, and you do this and that. When you throwing everything up top, you're going to make him look real good because he's going to look like a matador in there, and it's going to look extra impressive because he's 6'8", 6'9". When you hitting him to the body, you hitting him to the chest, you patting him down, like you can't shoulder roll a body shot. You could turn with a body shot, you know what I mean, and block it, but you can't shoulder roll a body shot. So that's what Dillian Whyte needs to do early, start sneaking in some shots over the top. And to be honest with you, he's going to have to hope that Tyson Fury throws and he could throw with him and he just beats Tyson Fury to the punch. He's going to have to hurt Tyson Fury at least 2 to 3 times in this fight. I think he needs at least a knockdown to get a decision, but he might need more than one knockdown to get a decision against Tyson Fury, man. He's really, really behind the 8 ball in this fight, but he's going to have to press the action early, push that gas tank early, and make Tyson Fury be offensive a little later on in the fight. I think that'll give him the best opportunity to win. My guy T Finney in the building, he said, I'm going to jump in. Hey, man, listen, the link is in the description. Go ahead and click that thing, and anybody can join. Adair Pennant, Addery Pennant, what's going on with you? He said, I feel an upset is going to happen in this fight. We're going to talk about it. We got my guy T Finney, a.k.a. the legend in the building, man. What's going on, bro?
What's going on?
Ain't nothing, man. Appreciate you jumping on with me, man.
No problem.
We got Pennant said, I feel an upset is going to happen in this fight. Hey, legend, give me your thoughts on Fury Dillian, bro.
I'm going for Fury by, I would say, mid round stoppage.
Mid rounds.
Yeah, mid rounds. Like maybe like between 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that.
You think Dillian Whyte just gonna get a little impatient in there?
Yeah, I don't know what his game plan to be. I mean, I think he might. I think he might try to go in and swing for the fences, but maybe the first few rounds. But I don't know if he'll have the tank to do all that.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how Tyson Fury looks in this fight because he looks. I don't know. I watched the press conference and some other things, and he just doesn't look interested. Like
what's his weight coming into this fight? Is he?
To be honest with you, during the workout, during the press workout, he looked every bit of 280 to me.
280. Is that he weighed around that when he fought Wilder for the third fight?
Yeah, he was around that 275, 280 range. And usually when he comes in that heavy, he's usually coming in to try to bully his opponent. But
Yeah,
Dillian White's not that dude to be trying to bully. Like Dillian Whyte is gifted offensively, and
right,
I don't think it's really smart for Fury to go in there with the same strategy as he did with Deontay Wilder. Like Dillian White has more hand skills than Deontay Wilder. I'm not saying he has more power than
right.
Deontay Wilder, but I'm talking punch variety, the angles in which he throws his punches, boxing IQ. Dillian White got all of that over Wilder, so Tyson Fury has to be mindful of that. Um, got my guy Burt Wood in the building. Big shout out to Burt Wood. He said, I am TikTok promoters. We have TikTok belt, butterbean belt. Very funny. Uh, yeah, it's gonna be an interesting fight, man, because it's like you try to break it down technically, and it's like you don't know what Dillian White's gonna bring to the table, and I think that's the kind of like the mystery. What you think?
Right. Yeah. So is he? I haven't seen any of the press conference or any of the build up yet. So is he? Is he talking a lot of trash or anything like that?
Nah, it was
Or is it
real.
respectful?
Like, yeah, it was real respectful, man. Like, it was real
Yeah.
respectful. Like, it was just, um, yeah. I'm thinking because you remember like the Tyson Fury and Wilder press conference. It was just real intense. You can kind of
Right.
you can feel the tension, like the animosity they
Right.
had towards each other. This one,
It's nothing like that.
nothing like that. Completely different, bro. Like it was just like they had mutual respect. Like Tyson
Right.
Fury was joking around. Like it was just,
Gotcha.
yeah. I now don't mind you. Dillian White came in with a rapper entourage. Like he came in with like it was like 50 deep. He,
Wow.
yeah, like 50
Yeah, I'm gonna
deep.
check it out when once I get off here.
Yeah, it was more respectful than what I thought, and I'm thinking just Dillian White's lack of promotion for the fight, him
Right.
not really doing interviews, and him
Yeah.
being pissed off about the 20%. I'm thinking he's
Yeah.
just gonna come in there and just talk a
Yeah.
lot of
That's what I
shit.
was saying. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe is he gonna come in swinging for the fences, or is he gonna have like a game plan? I'm thinking he might try to come in swinging for the fences, but he don't want to tire himself out though.
Nah, it's Fury's one of the few people you can't get tired against because he's
Right.
just his size and what he does inside the ring is imposing to begin
Right.
with when you fresh. So if you
Right.
go in there mid rounds, late rounds, and you tired, um, to be honest with you, that's why he was able to get Deontay Wilder up out of there.
Yeah.
And
His
people,
stamina started fading in the
yeah,
later rounds. You could see it. Yeah.
I literally in the third fight, I was matter of fact, I don't know if Rob Acosta's still in here, but the strength and conditioning coach for Boots Ennis was up in here a second ago. Um, I told him he was on one of the shows with us, and I told him, I said, "Yo," I said, "You can see Wilder starting to get tired after round one."
Right.
And he started laughing, and he was like, "Yo, I had to go back and actually look at it." He was like, "Damn," he was like, "Yeah, it do look like he was starting to fatigue a little bit, after the first round." And it was because he had all that hype, all of
Yeah.
that pinned up energy,
Yeah.
like because they
He literally trying to kill her.
yeah, you literally right, you literally try to kill somebody in the
Yeah.
ring, and it's like you have that adrenaline only lasts but so long. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like you can
Yeah.
go into a situation just off of adrenaline, and then once you get off of the adrenaline, what happens is now your normal stamina comes into play. So it's almost like you got to get a second win after your adrenaline runs out. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how Dillian White plays it because he can't come out slow. Because I'm like, he has to not only beat Fury, but he got to beat the judges too.
Right.
He got to beat the
Yeah.
judges too. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
not getting no decision in this fight.
Right.
Hell no. Like he would have to knock down Fury at least twice to get a draw in this fight.
Yeah.
It's it's not a good situation for Dillian Whyte to be in because he's battling the house fighter under the house promoter and the
Right.
WBC. Like, so he got everybody against him. The only way he gets out of this situation clean is unless he knocks Fury clean out and he takes everybody out of the equation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Burt Wood, Fury misled everyone and Kronk Jim on his weight, Wilder Fury too. Um, yeah, he did. Fury's very strategic when it comes down to stuff that he does prior to the fight. Because I know he was saying he was gonna come in at 300 pounds and all this and all that. And he came in for that second fight and he was a lot lighter than that 300. Now, of course, he came in heavy for the third fight. But yeah, Fury gonna tell you whatever he need to tell you until it's time to fight. He's looking for every advantage he can think of, psychological and all that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just it's a lot of people that's giving Dillian Whyte a shot, though. I mean, if you really believe he gonna win, I mean, it's the odds
Yeah.
is like a plus like 480 or something like that. So you can make some
Oh, so the
bread.
odds are out. Oh, so the
Yeah,
odds
the
are already
odds
out.
are
Oh,
out.
okay.
Yeah, the odds are out. Matter of fact, let me look them up real quick.
All right.
Um,
So,
let me see. The odds are. I should have had them queued up on the screen already, but let me see. Let me see what the odds are. Boom, boom, boom. Odds are. No, it's the wrong one. Oh, it actually went down. Plus 390. So you put $100 down, you get your $100 back plus 390. So that's actually those odds are actually lower than they were like a week ago. I think a week ago they were almost like plus 500 almost. So there's some people betting on Dillian Whyte, you know, to get this upset for
who?
sure. You know what, legend, I ain't talked to you in a little bit. Like what you think of the Spence Ugas fight?
What you saying?
I said, what did you think of the Spence Ugas fight? I ain't talked to you since that fight happened.
Yeah. Uh, man, I think man, Spence, definitely put on the show, man. I think he was just his pressure was just too much for Ugas. Like when I saw his eyes swelling up like that, I knew eventually they were going to stop it.
Yeah, that
When
swelling was
a lot of
bad,
people
wasn't
trying
it?
to say that Ugas didn't capitalize on when he rocked Spence. But I wouldn't. I mean, it is protect yourself at all times. Like maybe a different fighter may would have jumped on him, when he went into the ropes like that. But maybe
Right.
Gus was just just being fair. Like he rocked him, his mouthpiece came out, and he didn't jump on him. Once that got, maybe he was just trying to wait till that situation got squared away, then start fighting. But everybody else would, everybody's not going to react the same in that situation. You know what I mean?
No, that's a fact. And it was we was actually talking about that on camera on the last show because there was a lot of people saying like Spence wasn't hurt. I was like, nah, he was hurt. Like, like you know what I'm saying? I'm like, the legs don't lie.
He went back into the ropes. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, if them ropes
hey,
wasn't there, he'd have been on the floor.
yeah.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
kind of reminded me in a way. It kind of reminded me in a way with Mayweather and Victor Ortiz. Not quite similar, but in a way, it reminded me of that.
No, and you know what? That's a good point. That's a good point as well. And the thing about that fight is Spence. I was looking to see if Ugas was gonna actually give Spence some angles, and I thought Ugas had a legit shot in the fight because I thought he was gonna give Spence some angles. He didn't give him no angles at all, bro. Like
Right,
he just sat in the phone
right,
booth with him and just
right.
kind of just went at it. And I'm just like, wow, bro. Like you
Yeah,
can't beat Spence like that. Like that worked
right.
against Pacquiao. Pacquiao ain't Spence. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not Spence. He don't provide the same
Right.
um, dangers as Spence. Like, what you think of Ugas game plan going in? Did you thought it was like what you think of his game plan going in?
I mean, like the first. I mean, I guess like the first rounds or maybe like fill out rounds, maybe. But
Mm-hmm.
but as he got into it, man, just like Spencer was just too much for him. Just
Yeah,
way too
I
much.
mean, yeah, it was crazy. For the people that's listening, man, if you want to jump in this, man, I just put the link back in the chat. You definitely jump on here with my guy, the legend, and myself. We want to talk some boxing with us. Yeah, I watched Ugas against Porter, and I'm like, all right, he gave him some angles there. I watched him against Manny. He stood in front of Manny, but he gave him enough angles to where he was able to get his right hand off. Like he couldn't miss with that right hand. So I'm
Right.
thinking going into the Spence fight, I'm thinking like, all right, cool. He gonna get his shots off, and he gonna pivot to the left, pivot to the right. And he's
Right.
gonna give Spence some angles. You have to make Spence reset. When you fight in Spence, like you got to make him reset. And he just never made him reset. Like Spence just went in there and just did whatever he wanted to do offensively. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Spence rolling like that offensively, he can beat everyone at 147. He can beat Bud if he's on top of his game like
Yeah.
that. He can beat Boots if he's on top of his game like that. Like this,
Right.
that's prime Spence right there. And he's so difficult to deal with because he's a southpaw. He's
Right.
compact with the shots. Everything is
Yeah.
everything is straight down the pipe.
Yeah.
Like so you
And
can't
he's a
throw
big
nothing looping.
welterweight too, man.
Bro, he would be a big 154. That's how big he
Right.
is. Like I think he did an interview. I forgot who he did an interview with, but they asked him how much longer before he's done with 147. He said, "Man, I've been done with 147. I just get down to the weight." So you can tell, like
Right.
he's just a big dude. Like he
Yeah.
and
'Cause-
from my
yeah.
my people in Texas, is like he be bullying Jamel in sparring sessions. He said he
Uh,
bullies Jamel.
uh, Cause I remember when he fought Porter, like when they had like their face offs and everything, man, he looked like big, tall, everything compared to Porter.
Yeah, I mean Porter's
Yeah.
not no small. Like Porter is like physically
Yeah.
strong. Like you know
He's
what I'm
stocky.
saying?
He's short, but
He's
he's stocky.
yeah,
Yeah.
real stocky, and
Right.
he looks small.
He look huge compared to Porter. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I seen that. People don't realize, and the thing that's crazy is pure physical strength too. Because for a while, Errol Spence, he's the IBF champion, so they got the 10 pound weight rehydration that they have to do the morning of the fight. So
Right.
he don't even really rehydrate like a normal person would. Because if it was like any other sanctioning body, Spence is probably coming in probably around like 165, 170. Um,
Yeah.
after he rehydrates. So Spence is just a big, big dude, man. Like he's a big
Yeah.
dude, and he's just he's just tough to cover, man. Like he really, really tough to cover. Legend,
Right.
you hitting any fights soon?
Nah. Nah. Not. Nah. Nothing coming up there. Not right now. But I'm trying to figure out something. It was an
What you trying
amateur
to
card
hit?
that I actually missed. That I was trying to. It was an amateur card that just happened. I was trying to ask a whole bunch of people, but nobody was really interested. So yeah, I
Where
missed
was
that
it?
one. In Salisbury, Maryland,
Okay,
right in my town in
okay,
Maryland. Yeah, yeah,
okay. Yeah, and that's
yeah.
the
And then
thing.
the
Like,
guy I was telling you about, the
mhm.
heavyweight that is from Baltimore. He's fighting in May in Virginia, and he hit me up about going to that. I may try to go.
What you had to shoot me the info today. You said he fighting
All
in
right.
May?
Yeah, it's in May. It's in Virginia, and I believe it's Hogan Promotions or something like that. But I'll send you the flyer.
Yeah, see if he want to jump on with us. See if he want to jump
Yeah,
on with
yeah.
some.
I told him about it, and all right, I
Yeah,
tell him.
yeah. He come on here anytime, man. Talk some boxing. We can actually promote the card too. Like and
Right,
it's funny you said that, bro, because we were talking. I was talking to a couple of people that are in the amateur circuit, and even like just in boxing, but just on a smaller scale in terms of the cards. And I'm like, there's really not one central place you can go to watch these amateur cards and the development of these amateur fighters. Like if you think about it, all you hear about is stories from people that were
right,
there. You don't ever actually see the action. Like, you know what I mean? Like
right. Yeah,
you can, and it's even with it's even with like professional fighters. You can look at, I mean, you can look at some of your favorite fighters, and some of them
right,
they might be 40 fights deep, but it's like, how many fights did you actually watch? How many fights were
right.
actually available for you to watch? And somebody, because like you take like Bud is what, 39-0 or something like that. Uh, like something
Yeah,
crazy, like 30 something and 0. And it's like, I can
right,
tell you, I've probably watched only maybe about half of those fights because only half of them was available. Like
right,
you know what I'm saying? Like you can't pull up YouTube and find every single Bud fight, and that's Bud. So just imagine
right,
someone on a smaller scale. Like, so it was crazy because I'm like, that's kind of like my ultimate goal. Um, is to kind of become the central location for a lot of these amateur fight cards, these smaller fight cards. Like
right,
it don't matter what card it is, you can come the G5 Jeff TV, you can actually get a stream for it. Like that's kind of
right.
where I want to get to, because I feel like a
Yeah,
lot of people, we don't talk about the X's and O's of boxing enough because we don't see these fighters in action enough. All you hear is just hear
right,
stories. Like, so I'm like, we need to actually bring the action to people.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah,
not like
yeah.
if homie want to get on, yeah, if he want to jump on with us, like he can definitely jump on. We'll definitely promote the card. Like once you send me the information, I'll definitely post it. I'll let my people know about it, and we can definitely
Okay.
get the promotion going for that. Especially heavyweight too. Oh man, yeah, this,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if he bringing any type of smoke, it's money in it for him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? There's money in
Yeah,
it for him because heavyweight division is just, there's a lot of guys, but it's just a lot of guys that's been in the game for a long time, man. So heavyweights need, some
yeah,
new infusion of talent. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think that'll be great. But I mean, we got, just back to this Fury and Dillian Whyte fight. I'm The only thing about this fight, bro, I can't stand the undercard, man. The undercard is
Oh
the
yeah. Who's on it? I don't even know who's on it.
yo. I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. Um, let me
So
pull it
they
up
go.
real
It's
quick.
gonna start. Them Furry and White probably going what start around 5. The car started. Is it 5 or does it start at 2?
It's gonna probably start like 2 o'clock our time. They'll probably come on probably around like 4 or 5.
Gotcha.
Um, hold on, let me pull up this undercard, bro. I seen this undercard. This shit pissed me off, bro. And we big on undercards. We love
Right.
undercards. Like
Right.
I
Yeah.
was
That
pissed
that
off,
Spence
bro.
that Spence and Ugas undercards was good, man.
You know what,
The crew,
bro?
the
I was
Cruz and Gamboa. I think he needs to hang it up, man.
Yeah, Gamboa
Gamboa
got to
needs to hang
give.
it up, man. He's getting passed around, man.
Yeah, he getting passed around like a chick on the corner, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like it's
Yeah.
it's bad. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
he's taking on all the young guys, and he's he's getting stopped, knocked out.
Yeah, I
So
mean
I
it's
mean, props to him for taking on good competition, but like man, he might
yeah
end up getting seriously hurt, man. You
yeah
know what I
he's
mean?
getting brought in as an opponent, and I'm like he got brought in as an opponent against Eastside Cruz.
Right.
He got brought in as an opponent for Devin Haney. He got brought in as an opponent for Tank
Tank.
Davis.
Up.
Um, it didn't happen, but he was getting brought in as an opponent for Chris Colbert, and that
Right.
fight didn't happen. Like it's just when you start getting passed around like that,
Yeah.
it's just like having Gamboa on your resume is not even a good thing anymore.
Right.
It's nothing sexy about it, nothing popular about it. It's not going to get you up in the rankings or nothing like that. It's just something to do that night. And it sounds bad, but it's literally that's what it is. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And there's no disrespect to him.
Right.
He's just not at that level. Like
He
he's
took
not at
some
that
big
level.
shots against Cruz, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Some big
crazy because
shots. I
and
mean,
the
he
thing
kept
that's
getting up.
crazy,
Yeah,
yeah, he kept getting up. And the thing that's
the
crazy, it
ref
seemed like
side,
his
but he
chin
kept getting
has
up. He would have kept fighting. Yeah,
it seemed like his chin improved as he got older. Because you remember back in the day, his chin was like, oh my god, his chin was crazy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Let me read, bro. Let me read off this
yeah.
undercard to you, bro. So we got half these dudes you probably don't even
All right.
know. Tommy Fury versus Daniel Bosiatsky. Who that is, I don't know.
So that's for his
Uh,
brother, right?
that's his brother. Isaac
Okay.
Lowe. This is a fight at featherweight. Isaac Lowe versus Nick Ball. Welterweight. Iko Asuman versus Darren Tetley. Uh, David Adelaide. This is heavyweight. David Adelaide versus Chris Healy. Super featherweight Kurt Walker versus Stefan Nicole. Carol Atama versus Michael Siash. And super featherweight Royston Barney Smith versus Konstantin Radowi. It's a bad undercard, bro. It's a real bad
Right.
undercard. And it's like I get it. You got $42 million tied into the main event. Like I get it. You just don't have
Right.
that much to throw around for the rest of the rest round up the rest of the card. But I mean, give me something. Like you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
Give me something. Like I'm like I
Yeah.
have nothing to get excited about on that undercard, man. Like it's just the only
Yeah.
other person is Tommy Fury, and to be honest with you, if his name ain't connected to Jake Paul, ain't nobody,
Right. Right.
ain't
That's
nobody
what I was
talking
gonna mention
about.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, ain't nobody
I
talking
mean,
about nothing,
why
Tommy
would he want to
Fury.
take on like somebody like Jake Paul? And he's still
Yeah,
early in his career, right? Not many fights.
yes, yeah.
So
Tommy
I mean,
Fury
why would
is
he want to?
7-0.
I know. I mean, why was he even trying to fight somebody like Jake Paul anyway? You know what I mean? Why would him and Jake?
It's the money. You know what I mean? Like Jake Paul is a bag, and that's
Right.
all it
Right.
is. But the thing is, though, the
Yeah.
sad thing about it is Jake Paul took the fight, so he honestly think he can beat him, which is crazy.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Burt Wood G5 in their prime. Foreman versus Lennox Lewis. Oh, Foreman by far, bro. You get that question, bro? Yo, legend. I think we have some technical difficulty with the legend. Yo, can you hear me, bro?
I'm seeing here.
Yeah, I think his signal going in and out, bro.
Oh,
Say
mine.
something real quick. Yeah, I can hear you now. There you go. Um,
Okay.
Now, so you see the question. Burt Wood said, "In they prime, Foreman versus Lennox Lewis, who wins?"
Yeah, I said Foreman. Foreman had way too much power.
I say Foreman. My sports, aka Mr. Shane, is in the building. He says Lennox could beat Foreman. You are smoking the finest Jamaican trees over there, brother. You are smoking the finest Jamaican trees. Ain't no way on God's green he beats Foreman. No way. The key word here, Shane, is prime. He ain't beating no prime George, man. Hold on. He said, in my opinion, Lennox is bigger than Foreman. What do you mean? What do you mean he's bigger? Shane, you're gonna have to explain that, man. I know you in parts unknown right now, smoking the finest trees. I need to know what you're smoking on, brother. Ain't no way Lennox Lewis beats George Foreman in this prime. Hell no. And it's not even the fact that I think Lennox couldn't be competitive in that fight. He's not taking that shot. He's not taking
Right.
George Foreman's shot. Foreman lands one good shot. It's stank league and night. Hold on. He said a prime George was smaller than Lennox. I'm talking mass, bro. You talking height. You said Lennox is 6'6", Foreman 6'3", long arms and more weight. Lennox Lewis didn't have more weight than George. Even George in his lighter days was bigger than Lennox. And I'm talking mass, bro. I'm not talking height and all. I'm talking mass. Mass, he was bigger than Lennox. He said he weighed less, but that wasn't prime. Like, are you talking George Foreman Muhammad when he faced Ali? Is that what you talking? Right, Shane. Yeah, he said prime George was 240, Lennox was 250. That's what I'm saying, bro. George still, even with the weight, his mass was just bigger than Lennox. Like, you can look at George in his prime and look at Lennox in his prime, and like the mass is not the same. It's not the same. George, George that beat Frazier. Yeah, but he still, even if that's the case, bro. Like Lennox ain't Lennox got that same chin. He got that same chin, bro. Like he wouldn't be able to withstand that power, bro. He wouldn't be able to withstand that power. And I love Lennox Lewis, but he wouldn't be able to withstand that power. Because even when Foreman remind me of Luther Vandross, man. You had the skinny Luther, you had the big Luther. George Foreman, same thing. You got the skinny George, you got the big George. Either way you want to slice it, like he was just a huge puncher. Like he was a huge. I just don't think Lennox kid. I don't think Lennox can really just take the power. That's really what it come down to. And sometimes fights come down to that, especially a heavyweight. He's going to have to fill one of Foreman's shots. He's going to have to fill one of Foreman's shots, and there's very few guys in Foreman's prime that could take Foreman's shot and just eat it. Lennox, Lennox ain't got the chin for that. He ain't got the chin for that. You still smoking the finest trees though,
Right.
my sports. I love you anyway, but Lennox Lewis ain't beating no damn. This the same guy that said Ike Ibeabuchi could beat Riddick Bowe, man. So I don't know. Shane Shane be Shane be bugging sometimes. Like he gonna call my phone after this live too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. But hold on, Burt Wood. He said George is still alive. Let's get it on. But Burt, I don't want to see, man. I don't want to see Foreman inside of the ring. I don't want to see Lennox Lewis inside of the ring. I barely want to hear Lennox Lewis in the announcer booth. I just, nah, I'm good. But I hear what you're saying though, because I know a legend. Did you see Tyson, Mike Tyson beat up on the dude in the airplane?
But I saw like a small clip. I didn't really watch it.
Yeah, dude was just
Was it? I mean, was it a joke or was he for real?
nah, he was dead ass. The dude just kept on he just kept on picking with Mike on the airplane, man. Like it almost like he was trying to do a video or something, like trying to go viral, like messing around with Mike. He turned around and beat
Right.
the shit out of him. He turned around and beat the shit out of
Dang.
him. And I'm
Well,
like,
was he as excited because it was Mike Tyson, or was it?
no, he was just
I
trying
mean,
to,
was
he was
he
just
just
one of
excited it was
them.
Mike Tyson, or was it something?
Nah, he was trying to antagonize him. He was really trying to pick at him. Like he was trying to start something. Like he was being an
Oh
asshole.
wow.
And yeah, Tyson turned around and beat the crap out of him. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, stuff like that. I'm like, people that antagonize stuff. I'm like, they need to be locked up. You know what I mean? Um,
Right.
You know, shit is crazy because I'm like, that's assault. That's
Yeah.
assault. Like if you
So let me
really
ask
want to
you.
get,
You said
Mhm.
you said you do agree with White not getting in all the press conferences and all that. You said avoiding everything, because you're saying like his offer was disrespectful, right?
I I understand it. Do I agree with it? I still think you need to go in
Right,
there and be professional, but I understand it. I understand
right,
it. So I guess I'm kind of halfway with it. Like I wish he would have still went on
yeah,
with the promotion. The only reason I said I understand it, but
right,
I wish he still did it because you don't want to set a bad precedent. So if you start doing that, now every other boxer that don't like their contract, now they not showing up to the press conference. Now they not doing this, they not doing that. And we already have a
yeah,
hard
true.
enough time hearing about fights and getting proper promotion for fights, especially in this. You would think that wouldn't be the case in this social media era, but things move so fast. Like something could be hot for 24 hours and then
Mm.
the world has moved on to the next thing. So it's hard to promote these boxing um, cards,
Right,
especially if guys end up getting injured, things like that. So it's not easy. You know what I mean? I understood it, but I wish he would have just went on and did the promotion anyway. And listen, no harm, no foul. Like I mean, they still sold 100,000 tickets. You know what I mean? The promotion wasn't to sell the fight in terms of tickets. The promotion was to sell the fight in terms of the buzz. And I mean, I don't want to see anybody else try it though, because I just don't want the precedent to be started. Because once as a copycat, copycat sport. You know what I mean? Once one person start doing it, then everybody else gonna want to start doing it.
right.
What you think, bro? What you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, I mean his offer. I mean, 80. You said 80-20 is a terrible offer, but you said even if he was getting like what's it, around 5-7 million or something like that, and he wasn't
It's like
satisfied, was it
eight.
close to like 10 million?
It's like eight and a half.
Like 8, and he said that, and yeah, and he said but that's still disrespectful to him, right? Because it's 80-20,
Yeah, I mean,
and
it's
that's and
like,
that's basically why he didn't
bro, that's like
he
if me and you go rob a bank, right? Me and you go rob a
do any
bank.
promotions. Mm,
Yeah, like that's like if me and you robbed a bank, right? And we get the bank for $42 million, and I only give you eight.
mm,
Yeah, it's $8 million, but like, why am I only getting eight? You still gonna feel disrespected. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I mean,
So it's
so why was the offer like that anyway? Was it because White didn't bring it? Was it White didn't bring enough to the table? I mean, why was the offer so low anyway?
so basically the fight went to purse bid, right? So it went to purse bid, and the WBC decided on the purse split. Now a lot of times it'll be you'll see 65-35. You might see 70-30. You might see 60-40. But basically, the WBC sets
Right,
the purse split. So the WBC decided to make it 80-20. But at the
right.
time the WBC decided to do that, Dillian Whyte had them in court. So that was kind of WBC payback.
Uh, Gotcha.
I mean, to be
So
honest with
like,
you,
why him and Wilder never happened? Because I know he like after fight it was he called out Wilder one of his fights. I mean, so how come him and Wilder never happened? I'm going to shut now. He's got so why did it never happen with him and Wilder?
I don't know, bro. That's still a fight I want to see right now. Like I think the fight never happened because I think when Wilder was a champion, Dillian Whyte was beefing with the WBC, and then I think the WBC is the reason why Wilder and White never happened. It should have been happened. Like, Deontay Wilder for Dominic Brazil. Dillian Whyte was supposed to get that shot, not Dominic Brazil.
Right.
So that fight should have been happened. It was crazy because Dillian Whyte was ranked the number one contender at that time, but Dominic Brazil was the mandatory. And I'm like, that makes no freaking
Right.
sense. It makes no sense. I'm like, what's the point in being the number one ranked guy at heavyweight if you're not the mandatory? Makes no sense. Like, it's crazy. Like, so I think the WBC is a lot of the reason why. But at the same time, I think if Deontay Wilder really wanted to fight against Dillian Whyte, I think he could have called the WBC and been like, "Yo, like let's make that happen." Because the WBC love Deontay Wilder. Like, don't get it twisted. They love Deontay Wilder because the one thing he was going to do is he was going to defend that belt. And every time he defends that belt, there's a sanctioning fee for the WBC, which means they make money. They want their champions fighting because every time they fight, they get a sanctioning fee. Like, it's really that simple. So
Right.
that's one of the fights I wish would have happened, bro. Like, I think that would have been a classic. I still think it'll be a classic. Because if Dillian Whyte beats Tyson Fury, I want to see Wilder and White. Like, I'm advocating for it.
Right.
Because I don't
So what
think
you think?
Dillian
What you
Whyte.
think about Ferrer? This is you think it really
Say that again, bro, because you cut out.
saying? Do you think he's gonna retire?
Do I think Fury going to
Do you
retire?
think retire? Wait to see who wins that. Yeah,
Um,
I mean he times now that he's gonna retire after this fight.
to be honest with you, bro, I think Fury could retire. He could retire, especially after the MTK Global thing.
Right.
They getting ready to shut down and all of that. And he was a direct person with Daniel Kinahan and MTK. So could I see Tyson Fury retiring after this fight? I could see it. I could see it happening. Especially if Usyk beats AJ again. I could see Tyson Fury just retiring. Like, he seems like he's bored right now. Like, it's just he's been talking about possibly retiring too. And I'm a firm believer. I'm like, when you talking retirement, you already retired mentally. You're already retired. So it's gonna be interesting to see. It's a good question though. I'm actually gonna put that up
Right.
probably on Twitter and see what people think
Right.
about that. But it's a legit question. I mean, I'll throw a question at you before we close this thing out.
Right.
If Tyson Fury beats Dillian Whyte and retires, is Tyson Fury Hall of Fame?
I would say
I think his line cut out again. I didn't hear you, bro. Say it again. I think your line cut out again.
yeah.
Hey, Legend, I think your signal bouncing in and out, bro. Yeah, we lost my man, the legend there. Big shout out to the legend for stopping through. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna close this thing out, man. Hour long show. We got into a couple things, man. But we're gonna close this one out. Big shout out to my guy Boxing First Vlog, aka the General, aka Blunt, aka Blunt Bayless, aka Mr. 1K in the building, man. Hope everything well with him. Go follow his channel. Go follow his social media. He got videos up right now. We got articles coming up with him on the website g5jeftv.com. My man VP Shane, aka Ice Cold Shane, man, out there in parts unknown, smoking the finest trees. Big shout out to my guy VP Shane. And listen, on behalf of VP Shane, Boxer First Vlog, and your boy G5 Jeff TV, this was episode 83 for the Goodfellas podcast. We will be back tomorrow to kind of close things out as far as this Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte fight that's coming up, and we can do an official breakdown and prediction. On behalf of the staff, I'll see y'all tomorrow.